Hey people, this is Inofaith. In this video I'm going to talk to you about being yourself, being creative, what it takes to learn new skills, and how to be a better artist in general. I wrote a little quote inspired by a conversation I've been having with a French sculptor. The quote was, "To truly be the artist you could be, you shouldn't try and develop your technical skills. You should develop your personality." Now, what we mean by that is a lot of people focus on technique. I'm sure you've heard something like that before, but it is very true. I'll explain to you why and how this works. First of all, technique can be two things. Technique can be just a skill you can learn and master. Technique can be copying somebody else's style. Learning skills is something everybody can do. It's not something everybody wants to do. So don't blame yourself if you're a guitarist and you're like, I wish I played the drums. So why aren't you playing the drums? If you really love playing the drums so much, you would have gotten out of bed or stayed up late playing the drums instead of picking up your guitar, right? So it's more about where your passion is, where your love for something you want to do is, instead of what you want to do. And that's how you learn skills, by either forcing yourself to do it, which I don't recommend because you're gonna give up at some point, or just find out what you really want to do and go for it to 100%. So you can learn a skill. You can learn ice skating, you can learn playing the violin. It's a very tough instrument to learn, but if you're really devoted to that, you can do it. I shouldn't say you can do it. I should say it'll come as a result of you loving doing that. So it won't come easy or come naturally. It'll be a result of you being dedicated to it. So if you find yourself forcing yourself to do something, it's probably not for you. So that's learning skills. Then the other part was copying other people. Now, copying other people is fine as a means to an end. It's not fine as a goal, as a result. If you look at bands, most bands start out as just some guys in a garage playing some covers. Then usually what happens is they get a few gigs at a bar and it's nice, they get their name out, they get to experience what it feels like to play a gig, and they can practice their skills of playing music. Then usually at some point after playing a few shows and doing it for maybe some years or just a few months, the guys in the bands are going to be like, you know guys, we've been playing other people's songs for quite a while now. Isn't it about time we played our own songs? And usually, that's what happens. And similarly for music producers, what happens is first they'll probably imitate their idols. Everybody does that. Painters do it, photographers do it, musicians do it, sculptors do it. Everybody does that. It's a way of getting in touch with what the real deal is going to be like. So it's a means to an end. Usually producers, they imitate their heroes and then they start feeling like, yeah, I've been doing this thing. I've been trying out this particular technique, this particular style, this particular flavor. Though I can really identify with it, it's not really me. That's what brings us to the next part, being yourself. Now, this is very important. It's probably the most important part of being an artist, being yourself. Developing your personality, which is the foundation of all skills. I mean, you can have every skill in the world. Like the Matrix, you could be like, download being a painter, download being a violinist. You could have all of that. But if you can't make a good choice based on life experience, based on relationships you have with people, based on the things you encountered in life, you're not going to have a strong opinion. You're not going to make any good choices. You're basically just a blank canvas with a lot of skills, a lot of tools there, but somebody has to yield those tools, Why is being yourself so important? Because nobody else can do that. Think about it. Take your age and consider how much you've experienced in all of those years you've been walking around on this planet. That's a lot of complex factors that have helped shape you, mold you into the person you are right now. And you should be proud of that. Assuming you're at a pretty, comfortable place with yourself and you feel like you need to bring that out, that's what being an artist is about. Transferring a feeling to other people by a means of art. So if you have a very strong personality, you'll be much more able to pinpoint what that thing is you want to say and then work it out into a piece of art. And when I say piece of art, I mean music, video, film, photography, whatever. Every single media can be used as an art form. All the things that make you, all the things you've lived through are gonna contribute to your personality. And that is something nobody else has. And you should fully realize this, that you are you. There's only one of you. So why should you copy somebody else's music? This person is making this type of music because they have this type of personality. And then you are like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool. I'm going to try and fit in here so I can make this kind of music. But that doesn't really make sense. What you should do is try and grab this thing over into your world and then make it your own. That's a good way of starting out with imitation, with learning through copying. And then at some point you're going to say, well, you know, I really need to do my own thing, but I've got all these skills now. You can see skills as colors in a palette of a painter, or maybe just ingredients and spices in a kitchen. You can have all the skills, all the ingredients you want, but it's about you making a choice what to do with them. And that's what makes you the artist you are, or the artist you potentially could be. So in conclusion, don't see skills as the end result, like making this kind of beat, making this kind of sub bass because somebody else did it. Somebody else is being successful at something, not because they are making this type of music, it's because they are being themselves. Just look at the most successful people or artists you know that you look up to, that are like sincere people, not hyped pop world, whatever, you know, blank canvases. Look at those people and check if they have a very strong personality. It's usually very interesting people with a nice or a complex personality who have something to say, who have something to contribute to the world of art. It's because they were so in touch with that they succeeded at making something unique, because it started from within themselves. And they weren't copying what somebody else was already doing, so automatically they were ahead of the curve because they did what they felt was right, or just expressing themselves, which automatically led to them being unique. So that's what you should be, yourself, and just embrace it fully to be unique. So that concludes my first little inspiration talk here, or lesson. If you have any other questions you might want to ask me, you can send an email to ask.inofaith@gmail.com. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel here and like the video. You can post a comment with your question below, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.